risers and everyone that is new to this channel, what's a rising? Yes, I miss you guys so much. I have not done this in a while. I know I haven't, but there is a reason. I have been undergoing a lot of doctor's visits and clinic visits back and forth with my health and medicals, and it has just been a wild roller coaster lately. Although you guys did get a vlog and I was on Instagram for a little bit, besides the 2 weeks that I took off, I was off of everything because I was in recovery. And this is the reason why I'm making this video for you today. I am here to talk to you about fibroids. About 1 or 2 vlogs ago, I mentioned that I was going to have a procedure. I don't know if you guys caught that, kind of over your heads, but I didn't go into detail and explain what it was because I wanted to just knock it out in one shot, and I wanted to do it in a way that was me. If you guys do not know me, my name is Arye. I am a singer, songwriter, and YouTuber who vlogs about lifestyle and does funny content videos. Then I also have another channel called Wild Child Goddess, and that channel holds all of my live performances and music videos pretty much. Now for the reason of my absence. I feel that fibroids are not talked about enough. It's not broadcast enough. We see advertisements on TV all day, every day about diabetes, shingles, athlete's foot, dry eyes, proactive, back pain, eye falling and I can't get up. Not to mention the old people awesome tubs that they have. And let's not forget about the hundreds of commercials about depression. Anything you can pretty much possibly name in our faces all the time, not just on TV, on our laptops, on our phones. Whenever we first open up a website, there's an ad about all of these things. But it is quiet on fibroids, which is an issue amongst women, and in particular, mostly black women. This is why I decided to do a small documented series on this subject, because I feel that each step we can take, or that I can take, the smallest thing that I can do can help so many people. And I really do hope that it can reach others pertaining to this matter. Science has came a long way, but they are still trying to figure out what are the causes of fibroids. Is it genetics? Is it hereditary? Is it in foods we eat? Are the foods counteracting with certain genetics? You know, they don't know. They're still trying to find that out. But until they find that out, we can do what we can to make fibroids more aware to the public. So me, like everyone else, you never know the severity of an issue until you have experienced it or had some kind of interaction with it. I gathered up my little notes here, so you may see me like veer off or whatever, but I wanted to make sure I got all of this information together for you. What are fibroids? Fibroids are firm, compact tumors that are made of smooth muscle cells and fibrous connective tissue that develop in the uterus. In more than 99% of fibroid cases, tumors are benign. If you do not know what benign is, it is non-cancerous. So if a doctor ever comes in the room and says, benign, just know to celebrate, okay? And there are more than 200,000 cases per year with this issue. I'm not going to go over whole class information with you on this subject because there's so much information out there about it for your own research, but I'm just going to glaze over the main part of it. Fact: anywhere between 20 to 80% of women will develop fibroids by the time they turn 50 years old. Although they cannot affect all women, black women are about 3 times more likely than white women to develop fibroids, and they tend to develop them at a younger age than other women. This fact comes from the website www.bwhi.org. I will have that link in my description box below. Feel free to go in the description box and click on that link so you can find out more information. When I first knew that something was off with my body, I was working out, exercising, I was eating right, but not 100% right. But I know my body, so I knew I was okay. But I noticed my stomach wasn't going down, stayed puffed up, and then I started to develop small pains. Then I start to urinate more frequently, and then more heavy and painful menstrual cycles. Other symptoms of these fibroids is that you will feel more pressure on your pelvic area, abdomen area, or inconsistent menstruals. I didn't really have those last two symptoms, but the other ones definitely. I went to multiple doctor's visits from the hospitals, and then I got so tired of them just trying to give me all of these medications and lead me around this maze. I decided to look up my own highly recommended clinics, and so that's when I started going to this clinic, and I would get into that further down the line. Within all of these doctor's visits and clinic visits, I tried to learn as much information as I could from them, but then also do my own research as well. I had 5 enlarged fibroids in my uterus. The sizes of those fibroids were 16 by 10 centimeters. That was on my right side. Also on my right side was a 3 centimeter, and then on my left was a 5, 4, and a 2. My largest fibroid, the 16 by 10, is called a subserosal, and the others are called submucosal. You will see the other locations in the pictures that I'm going to show you. When I went in and the doctors did all the examinations and tests and everything, they looked at my stomach, and when I came back for the results, they said I am the size of a 15-week pregnancy. Like, are you kidding me? 15 weeks? Like I said, I know how my body works whenever I'm exercising and I'm eating a certain way. 2 surgeries or procedures types are called, one hysterectomy and the other myomectomy. When I went into this clinic, they give you different options and treatments and procedures that you can, think about and decide which one that you want to take. One of those options that they give you is estrogen cancellation procedure. This temporarily puts you in menopause. And if you ladies out there know what menopause is, or if you have experienced it in a way where a loved one is going through it and you're taking care of them, then you know exactly how that may feel or what they may put you through. So it wasn't really my cup of tea of options to choose. The second procedure is a surgical procedure. It is a cut in and scrape out the fibroids. It is a 1-month recovery, mainly between 4 to 8 weeks. It is a small risk of taking out the whole uterus, which that leads into a hysterectomy. You are hospitalized from 1 to 3 days, and then you have 3 to 8 weeks at home. You have no vaginal delivery and leaves you with a weak area in the uterus. Now, as far as this option goes for the no vaginal delivery, as far as pregnancy, whenever you do take out the hysterectomy, you are not able to have a kid. You are able to get pregnant, but you don't have a sac to hold it. If you want to kind of find out more information on that, because I don't have extensive information on it, then you can definitely do your own research about that option. The third option is the UFE option, and that stands for urinary fibroid embolization. Try saying that 5 times fast. It is a 1 to 2% that you will have fibroids remaining. You will spend 2 to 4 hours in the surgical center that you are going to have the procedure done at. And it is 1 week of rest, and 2 weeks after that, you can resume your regular activities. So this option to me was my best option to choose, because if you guys don't know, about a couple of years ago I had to have a hernia removed, and so that was a few months out of the game. Like, I was singing for a living and I had to have this surgery, and it was about 3 months downtime that I had. And then after that I caught a really bad virus, and that was another 3 or 4 months out. So I was about half a year to 7 months out of work, and like I said, I was singing for a living at that time. So it was just a lot that I was dealing with at that time. So I knew with these other options that they were giving me dealing with this fibroids, I knew what I did not want to do, what road I did not want to go down on again. Now with this UFE, and that's more of the procedure that I'm going to be on because it's the one that I chose, so it just makes more sense for me to discuss this. With this procedure, they go through the artery of your wrist or the top of your leg and they navigate a tube through. The tube that is navigated through, it goes to the fibroids and it releases these particles in the fibroids, and what that does is it makes the fibroids shrink. Even though it makes the fibroids shrink, depending on the size of your fibroids, they may not shrink 100%. So it is always that chance. If you have a really large fibroid, and that is one of the ones that I had, as you guys heard, the 16 by 10, it may not shrink all the way down, but it will have a dramatic shrink, which is what's important to me, because with the symptoms that I was feeling, it will make me feel so much better, and you as well, or if anybody you know that is dealing with fibroids. So the next day after you have this procedure done, you will have to keep your legs straight, but most importantly, you will have to try to walk a little bit so your legs will not develop any blood clots, which are called deep vein thrombosis. Now for me, when I went in, before I even chose which option I wanted to do, because I did want to think about it, you will have to go through a D&C, which is a dilation procedure, to do a scraping on the side of your uterus under sedation to recognize abnormal cells to see where to go from there. So they just want to make sure that your cells in your uterus is not showing up any abnormal signs, and they can do whichever procedure is best for you according to that lab. After you do this D&C procedure, you cannot have any sexual activities for 1 week, and also no gym. Let me just go ahead and make this statement. For me, I did not have any abnormal cells, and my tumors came back benign. You can probably already tell that because of my energy in this video. So now I'm going to take this time to show you some pictures as far as a couple of the visits that I went through. This first picture that you see is a diagram that they had, and I thought it was a great represented diagram of where fibroids are and how you can see, you know, their size, and you know what is the difference between the submucosal and the subserosal. And you can see how that is located somewhat like inside, but it's outside too. That is my biggest one. And then the other one is the submucosal, which is inside the muscle of the uterus. And then you can see other, you know, names here for what's going on in the uterus or around the uterus. I did not have any of those other things. The next image that you see is the image when I was in my doctor's visits and they were telling me where my tumors were. Tumors work on blood flow. That's how they grow. They're eating, they're supplying off of your blood. And that is what the UFE procedure does. It cuts off the blood flow to the fibroids, and that is how they shrink. This next image that you see, you can see more in detail of how the artery to the little, you know, veins going to the fibroids, and this is how they're eating and supplying off of your blood. But they're also showing you the little white tube that you see is going through your artery, and it is releasing the little white circles. Those are the particles that it is releasing to shrink your fibroids. So when you have this UFE procedure, your fibroids do shrink, but your uterus and ovaries are spared. So that was one thing that I was really considering and thinking over, because I do want to birth my own kids and have a family in my near future, and just at least have a high percentage chance that I can. Now for the clinic that I went to. When I went to this clinic, when I first walked in, it was so amazing. I have given high reviews on Google and Yelp, and Facebook about this clinic. This clinic is called Viva Eve. I highly recommend this clinic to anyone. Now, of course, they deal with more than fibroids. It is a women's specialist clinic. So if you are dealing with certain things, dealing with pregnancy or anything like that, any woman's issue, that is what they're for. And they are a fibroid specialist, which is how I found them. You are going to hear me mention Viva Eve quite a bit throughout the series that I'm going to show you and be uploading. They are a wonderful, phenomenal facility. From the doctors to their staff, it is literally the most amazing thing that you can possibly feel walking into a clinic when you have been through so much emotionally and physically, and they are there for you. They understand that you have had a trying, difficult time dealing with a certain issue that you're dealing with, and they are just there to help. They are there to be along your journey with you. And when I say with you, like they have your number, they call you, they make sure that you have their number. It is literally one of the most amazing experiences that I have had ever in my life dealing with clinics and hospitals. I will have their link below in the description box as well, so please feel free if you or if you know anyone who is dealing with difficulty or issues for women. Now, the medicines that I had to take, because I did not mention them in the series, are Toradol, Gabapentin, Tylenol, Tramadol, Levaquin, Zofran, Prilosec, and Senna. Now, before your eyes buck open, like what in the world? Quite a bit of these you only take one time right after your procedure, because they want to make sure that your body is going to be processing everything that has went on. After that, you are only left with a few of these, and a couple of them are just take as you need. So take as you need if you have pain, or take as you need if you have nausea. They will go over all of these medications with you, how you should take them, what you should take them for, when you need them. You will have to have an escort when you take this procedure, because when you come off of that anesthesia, woo, it is a ride. So now to close this all together, before we get into depth of this series and topic, I do want to state that this project, this documented series that I put together, is only from my experience and information that I've gathered and that I've been told throughout this process. This is not aimed at everyone, because as we know, everyone is different. Every woman is different. Our bodies process things differently. Some of us may have very painful menstruals. Others, they can eat candy and sweets on their menstruals and not be bothered at all, which is not me, by the way. I can hardly even look at chocolate and I get pain. Some women with fibroids, if they did this surgery, they really don't need a whole 2-week recovery like I did. Some won't have the same reactions as I did. There are different pain levels. You guys have to understand that. But the point is, all of our bodies are different, and this is just from my experience that I wanted to share with you, so you can know kind of firsthand how to go about this if you chose to do the UFE procedure. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this series. As I said, I wanted to do it as me, so there are vlogs, and I just did them in a way where I'm showing you my progress day by day and what's going on day by day. I'm feeling good, but then I'm experiencing pain here, you know. So you get to see that firsthand, and you will know how to take action in your own situation. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to comment them below. If you have any suggestions or helpful tips, I know there are a lot of people out there who are very natural and herbal, and they don't take medications at all. And much respect to you. I promise to God, much respect to you. So I know some of you may have certain suggestions and tips, and I am all open for it. Please let me know those as well. Thank you all for your wishes and prayers. I know that I didn't really put this out there when I was having it or before I really had it, but the few that did know, thank you so much for your wishes and prayers. And even after seeing this, thank you for your best hopes for me. So I hope that you enjoyed my UFE 2-week recovery documented series.